Welcome back. The France 24 focus today is on Lebanon and its politically divided Christian community. The elections this coming weekend will see voters more split than ever on who they think should carry their interests forward. Lebanon's population is, of course, a mixture of Christian sects, Sunni Muslims, Shia Muslims, Druze and others. The parliament is run on a quota system, which makes it quite unique, each group getting its representation in government. Now, one controversial group, Hezbollah, the Shia Muslim movement, stands to gain as Christian groups seek to strengthen their position by striking an alliance with it. Michel Aoun is at the centre of this controversy. He's a Maronite Christian leader and one of the central reasons why the Christian vote is becoming increasingly divided. France 24 correspondent Lana Kamoria has this report.
It's Sunday morning in Kfar Abida. Residents of this little mountain village have gathered for Mass. But after the service, the faithful part ways. Supporters of the Free Patriotic Movement are off to a rally held by Gebran Bassil, nephew of General Michel Aoun. The candidate drives his message home: the Christian community must be protected.
Since the Taifa Accord of 1990 and all these past years, the Christians have been marginalized, underrepresented, and their rights have been neglected. The country must find a better balance. That is what we're fighting for.
All of Lebanon's Maronite parties vow to defend Christian interests, but majority and opposition disagree on the strategy to follow. As a result, the Christians are more divided than ever.
It's not a pretty sight. The parties are splitting families. Instead of uniting, Christians are becoming more divided. Even within one family, one home, we're growing more divided. It's really not a pretty sight.
Batroun is the main city of this electoral district. Here, everyone states their preference loud and clear. The Bishara family is split. The son will vote for the Lebanese forces, allies of Saad Hariri's Sunni party. His mother supports Michel Aoun, the main ally of the Shia Hezbollah party.
Yes, we're allied to the Shiites, but we don't like them.
Then why do you support Aoun? You don't even like Hezbollah or the Shiites.
All MPs need to form alliances. Your party is allied to the Sunnis. If Aoun doesn't work with the Shiites, he won't have the power to do anything.
Why not?
Because you need to be allied with a strong sect.
The debate moves on to the foreign countries sponsoring each side.
Your side is allied to the Saudis, who are all covered up from head to toe. They'll transform Lebanon into a Muslim country and we'll all be forced to pray.
And what about Hezbollah, who follows Iran's supreme leader?
Yeah, shut up.
Yeah, whatever.
This division can be traced back to the bitter inter-Christian war of 1989. Back then, General Aoun had ordered the army to bomb the Lebanese forces, the strongest Christian militia of the time. Today, the debate revolves around another militia. Hezbollah is the only party who didn't give up its weapons at the end of the civil war.
It's a political division. We want to work on building up the state. It's been a historic challenge for Lebanon's Christians for centuries now. And we can't stay silent when we see a project to destroy the state, with Hezbollah holding on to its weapons.
The Maronite patriarch is the symbol of Christian unity in Lebanon. But even he is now taking a subtle stance. Nasrallah Sfer voices his worry about Aoun's alliance with Hezbollah and its Iranian and Syrian backers.
One country has very close links to foreign countries, and we're afraid in case it wins, that it won't be left to govern alone. We're afraid it will be influenced by the foreign states that backed it and helped it to get to power.
In the last parliamentary polls in 2005, General Aoun had taken 70% of the Christian vote. If he convinces his community once again, the opposition would win the elections on June 7th.
Very revealing snapshot there of life in Lebanon. Let's go now to Lana Kamoria, our reporter in Beirut, to put that report together there. Lana, Michel Aoun, very much a controversial figure, very much an important figure consistently in Lebanese politics. How important is this, rapprochement, if you like, towards Hezbollah?
It's definitely very important. It could swing the next election, as we've just seen in the package. Michel Aoun is a historic figure among the Lebanese Christians and the Maronite Christians. Back in 2005, in those parliamentary elections, he had taken 70% of the Christian vote, as we've just seen. That's enormous. Now, he's lost some of that popularity. He's not expected to do as well. But if he takes a majority of the Christian vote, then that would definitely bring the victory victory to the opposition. He would be the one to bring the victory to Hezbollah. So this alliance, which seems a little unusual, this alliance of interests, it's definitely a political game, is definitely a major factor that could really sway the outcome of this vote.
Let's talk about another big personality in Lebanese politics, Walid Jumblat, someone who's known to people outside of the country. How big is his influence inside the country, given obviously we're talking about Lebanese politics very much divided into factions, often on religious grounds? How important is Jumblat's influence?
Walid Jumblat is also a historic figure. His influence is mostly important within the Druze community, and that is his foremost interest, is to safeguard his dominating position as a leader of the Druze community in the Druze mountains particularly. So Jumblat is has been more of a free electron in the past few months. Now, he's officially allied with the majority, the so-called March 14th alliance, but he's also been making clear overtures to the opposition, and many analysts expect him to perhaps become an independent figure in the days following the election, simply because Walid Jumblat's first and foremost interest is not so much ideological as it is to safeguard the interests of his community and his interest as a leader of that Druze community.
So Jumblat, the electron libre, as the French say, or loose cannon, as we say in English.
Absolutely.
But the point you're making is that he makes his decisions based on what he feels for his particular group. And obviously he's sort of said to be moving towards Hezbollah as well. Can I ask you, Lana, just to clarify for me in particular, we have two coalitions which are very important, March 8th and March 14th. Tell us about the breakdown of those two and what they meant and kind of why it's all kind of, what its significance is.
Well, first of all, these names are taken after March 8th and March 14th demonstrations that took place in 2005 in reaction to Rafiq Hariri's assassination. The March 14th bloc reacted just 1 month after Hariri's assassination on February 14th, 2005. A huge demonstration, huge rally in Beirut, and that's when what we call the Beirut Spring. That's when a lot of people came together, demanded that Syria get out of Lebanon. As you know, many Lebanese pointed the finger at Syria for the assassination of the former prime minister. Now, the March 14th bloc is composed of, first of all, the Future Party, which is Rafiq al-Hariri's party. It's now led by his son, Saad al-Hariri. It's a Sunni party, politically, economically liberal. It's allied with Walid Jumblat and his Progressive Socialist Party. We've just talked about him. And with a number of Christians. We've got the Lebanese Forces, which used to be a very powerful militia during the Civil War. The Lebanese Christian Phalange, as well as a number of Christian independents. So those are the Christians who are mostly allied with the Sunni Muslims. That's the March 14th alliance. On the other hand, you've got the opposition, and that's March 8th alliance. It's led by the Shia Party of God, Hezbollah, as well as another Shia party, Amal, led by Nabih Berri, and they are allied with Michel Aoun and with the Christians who follow him. So as you see, the Christians are really split. Most Sunnis, we know where most of the Sunni votes will go. We know where most of the Shia votes will go. It's the Christians who are divided, whose loyalties are divided, and that's what's going to be key, particularly given that they have 50% of the seats in parliament. They have half of the seats.
So is the split that we're talking about likely to be to Hezbollah's gain?
It's hard to tell because the race is very tight, but a lot of analysts and pollsters are predicting a slight edge, are giving the opposition, led by Hezbollah, are giving the opposition a slight edge in this race. Now, and Aoun is still very popular, so there is a likelihood that Aoun will tip the balance towards Hezbollah and their alliance. Another possibility people are talking about are that neither side will win and that a group of independent deputies, MPs, might come together and sort of keep a status quo, keep an equilibrium and play referee between the two sides.
Lana Kamoria there with the latest from Beirut. Thank you very much for joining us. That brings an end to today's France 24 Focus. And, of course, we'll bring you all the developments in the campaign and on election day, of course, in Lebanon this weekend. Stay with us.